All right. Okay, let's get started. How's it going? So, today we're going to work a little bit on this battle scene, this battle select scene. So, this. Right now, it's not much of anything. So, I think what I'm going to have it do. We pull up Leonardo. Oh, that saved that. Cool. Is there not? That's how you zoom. That's ridiculous. Okay. So, what we're gonna do is if we look up this, right? Just copy image. Ooh. Edit, transform. Go. Get that. On start forever map. Let's look at this one. Copy image. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I haven't seen this before. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Copy. And might as well copy this one. Okay. Just gathering some references here so that I know how I want things to work. And then you've always got to go with Final Fantasy Tactics. This is actually a really good one. Okay. That's a little loud. That's better. So, looking at this, you could probably break these up into a couple sections. So, I don't know how to select by layer. But this one, right? Kind of ridiculous I'm doing it like this. Go. Boom. Boom. Okay. So, there's kind of two camps here, right? There's the branching paths, and then there's just the overall location, proximity based. I think the best way to go for this game is a branching path. The reason why, well, there's a couple. One, this one here on the right is fairly art heavy. And there's assets I need to make to make it work, right? You need to make a map, you need to make all of the images. I mean, if we just look here, this is very detailed. There's a lot going on, a lot of locations. Same for this one. It's less complicated, but still fairly detailed. But if we come over here, this is literally just a tree with a background image that's very simple. This one, it's a tree with a background image that's fairly simple. This one is a tree with an extremely simple background. It's literally just a solid color PNG, basically. Maybe a little bit of noise thrown in there, but yeah. So, and then you've got your player's stats and everything. And this gives you information on levels. I haven't played this game, I just know it, but not too different really. There we go. So, I think the tree is the best from an art perspective. I think it also provides the most benefit from a game design perspective for what I want to do with this game. Because I want this game to have some amount of randomness, roguelike elements. And I think RE9 and Slay the Spire do what I want. Where you have some branching options to choose from, and they'll give you more or less benefit depending on how you choose, but eventually it converges into a final boss fight for that section. And I think I want to go that route. That being said, from a more technical, nuanced perspective, right? Slay the Spire works really well having you start from the bottom and going up, because you're climbing a tower, right? So you're moving upwards. But if you start from the top and go down, it feels like you're diving deeper. Kind of the thematic approach I want for this game is to be rising through the ranks of like a tournament or a coliseum, just an arena type thing. So I think moving upward is going to be the best. So that being said, we're gonna move forward with getting a basic map layout setup, I guess. And probably go from there. So, this actually shouldn't really be a control node anymore. It should end up being node 2D. And then this should change into Also a node 2D. I'm gonna rename it to yield. Okay. So one thing that we can do is we'll need a camera 2D. There we go. And I'll just add sprite, quick load, just do any sprite. There we go. Layer. Okay. So right now, setup takes in just an array of different fights you can be a part of, and it'll lay those out. So I'm curious how I want this laying out to be. Or do I just want to keep it? Here we go. That's an awful picture. Where is that really the only one? Okay. I guess there is a third option. What's you? This is gonna let me. This is basically how it is already. It just gives you a list of possible fights you can be a part of, and that's it. It's the easiest to do because it's just UI. Do I want to just stick with it for now and then have a better do I just want to have a different section to show the overview of like progress towards a bigger fight? I honestly think I'm time constrained enough. I should do it this way. So we'll just undo all of that. Right. So that being said, change type to a VBox. Change type to a VBox. And then you are actually going to be left aligned. There we go. Right. What am I doing? Just a node 2D. We're gonna name it background. Okay, so this should still work just fine. Yep. Probably have to offset it from the there. So margin left, we'll do 50 pixels. We'll make these all left aligned buttons. Eventually, these two are going to be put into like a system submenu but for now it works. And then we'll just do add child node, color rect, be full. Yeah, there we go. I don't want you there. I want you there. Okay. Texture. No, material. Duh. Quick load. There we go. Trader parameters. Why is that white? Come on, I need my shader editor. There it is. I should make that black. Why is that white? Let's see, layout. Let's see, so color. That's just color alpha. Oh, that's why it's white. Because I'm stupid. There we go. I'm gonna change you to just another margin container. Gonna go boop, right? I'm actually gonna put you here, and then put you at 15 too. Well, if that's the case, there we go. Center, there we go. Just so that it looks consistent. And then here I can have just like a random panning of your team running around or something, right? Who knows? So this something should just be doing. Here we go. Okay. Above. Button. Campaign overview. And just get some placeholder translations. Download CSV. Convert. All right. Campaign overview. There we go. It doesn't actually do anything, but now or should I can name it whatever I want, it doesn't matter. Okay. Yep, squad. I got a guy named Jalen. Okay, so right now, going into there, it just child. 0 to add temp. We're gonna rename you to campaign home screen. Unique name. Okay, we're gonna give you an exit state. And we're gonna position this above new state logic. At current state, states dot normal dot visible equals false. What's the okay? States dot squad management. Do that. States dot select. Do that again. Battle. Well, maybe I should actually call exit state before I. Yeah, and I should do visible. Battle. Squad. Alright. HBox container. Okay. So opponents? No, it's gonna be battle option display. I just right, that's kind of wonky. Thing is, I know I keep flipping back and forth. I feel like it has to have a map, right? Like it just has to. Campaign map. Camera 2D. I want it to just use the same camera. Oh. We'll use a 2D camera. Let's see. Drag, editor. Yeah, let's see. Right 2D. I'll name this map background. I'll just go into Sprite. File. New. We'll make it 16 by 16. Go. Gonna make it tile. Well. Gonna give it some texture. Yeah, let's do this. Go. This doesn't have to be good right now. It just has to function. There we go. File. Save as. Textures. We'll put it in here for now. We'll name it map background. There we go. Book load map. Did that not save where I thought it did? Saved it as an HSprite file. PNG. There we go. Okay. Actually, okay, come over here. Do. Don't know how it's gonna look as it is, but and then draw center, axis stretch, tile. Sure. Works for me. Adjustments. FX. Normal tools. Despeckle. I know there's like a noise. I don't want to blur. I don't want to sharpen. Yeah, there. Invert adjustments. Totally thought there was a generate noise function in HSprite. Whoa. I'll go back to sprite, turn region on. Yeah, I'll just do this for now. I'll be lazy with it. And animation offset, no. Dude, I haven't worked with a sprite in forever. Nine packs. This is the best. Enter. And then quick load this guy. Data, Steam's system, components, and main map. Let's see. Transform. Let's look at Slay the Spire again. Yeah. So that just kind of sits there. Okay, I'm curious. I've never done any kind of a scrolling texture. Godot scrolling. Sure. Wait, this is just gonna tell me how to do a shader scrolling, right? Yeah, that's heating background. There we go. Texture rect. Change type to texture rect. Stretch mode. Tile. Ooh. Not gonna lie, I think I really think what's it called? Yeah, the thing that I can't think of right now. The 9-pack track just looked better. You know? It just looks better as a... What are you talking about? Yeah. Well, I think for now, what we'll do is just add a canvas layer. Right. Transform. Layer. There we go. Follow the viewport. What does that do? Oh. Okay. Custom. Okay, boom, boom. Anchor points. Left. 0.35. 0.65. Nope. 0.25, 0.75. There we go. Yeah, we'll just put you guys here for now. You should be following the viewport. Why aren't you following the viewport? There we go. Okay. Then attach a script. Campaign map. Display. Okay. So, I think what we can do is put together a larger you know what, I'm really curious if there's just play the Spire map Godot. There's gotta be. Don't tell me yeah, this is an hour. There's gotta be like a GitHub, right? Let's see. Character warrior, custom resources, global screens. Deck builder. I don't care about deck builders, I just want the map. Scenes. Battle. No. UI. No. Global. Events, music player, blah blah blah. Well, that's useful. Okay, what are you doing? Architecture. Oh. Let's see. Room resource. I wish there wasn't. Why does it have to be a video? Why can't there just be a doc? There has to be some kind of a doc, right? Yeah. Generate map. Okay. My YouTube has completely frozen. Okay. My browser's gone. What the heck? Okay. Well, that's annoying. Load, battle. Okay. Miss. I always miss. At least they miss too.
Boom, boom. Miss. Boom, boom. I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead. I am dead. No! He's dead.
Okay.
I can't believe there's no just like write up. Just videos and videos and videos. How long is the script? It's not that long. Example. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do this. I actually have to downloads, documents, working games. I have a lot of stuff in here. Import. Let's see. It was made in 3. Are you serious? Sure. Let's just see how it goes, I guess. It's not gonna work. This is not gonna work at all. Just failed to load script. Let's see. Event. Yeah, that's not gonna work at all. I just want a resource that isn't a stupid video. Yeah, these people have a valid concern. Inspired to decompile. Yeah. Yeah, where do I see it? It's just AI search. It's so dumb. You have to buy the game. how it was built. Project structure, website pages, API. Okay. Okay. Yeah, these are definitely some intense people. Yep, so you have to have the game installed, which I don't, which is fine. Let's see. Is this? Okay. Set of positions where rooms can be generated or not. A grid. Rooms. You can go there. Paths. Floors. Yeah. Then, so it creates a big 7 by 15 grid. Then randomly chooses a room on the first floor and connects it with a path to one of the 3 closest rooms. And it keeps doing that to the next floor. First 2 rooms randomly chosen at the first floor cannot be the same. Paths can't cross over each other. Okay. So unhandled input if event that is action pressed. Debug. Display options. Okay. So I don't want 7 by 15. That's kind of intense. But let's see. Var option list is an array. Does this work? Nope, you can't do nested types arrays. Okay. So for I in range, no, 4, and for j in 10, right? Var temp array equals var no temp. Yeah, temp dot append string I plus j. There we go. And then we'll do option list dot append temp print option list clear.
I do need to unfull screen. Okay, yeah, that kind of works. That does work, actually. Rig container. Okay. I am not it. Children. I got you free. Add. We can add child button dot new. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know. So, our button equals button dot new. Dot text equals no, it's not actually. Oh, duh. Button. Okay. Boom. Then we need to give you 4 columns. No, layout, custom, 0.2, 0.8. Nope, that's way too small. Nine, 5. Okay, 0, 1, 2. 4. Okay. There we go. And then and yeah, okay. It makes a list. Theme overrides, yeah, whatever. So
Yeah, so what if I did a 2 create I'd create connection. I don't like this being in a grid container. Node 2D. This sucks. Container. No container. Yeah. Well, let's. Okay. So let's take a look at this algorithm discussion.
Really cool person on Reddit recommended me this article, which is a super nice and
Let's
in-depth
see.
guide on how the map was actually generated in Slay the Spire. So the author was referencing the source code of the actual game. So it's as close to our base material as it possibly can be. The article itself starts by showing the map layout and discussing the terminology they use throughout this whole article.
Right.
What's interesting to us here is that the map layout itself is basically a grid which consists of 15 rows that they call floors and 7 columns. After generating that initial grid, the next thing to do is to random the pixel different starting spots at the bottom, meaning floor 0. And after having our starting points, we start generating the different routes which are indicated with different colors here. And we need to make sure that generating these routes adhere to some rules. For example, no paths. So with our project open here, we could start implementing the map generator itself. That's the most interesting part, right? But before we can actually do that, we need to remember what we discussed in the architecture overview. Namely that the map generator itself depends on having a room resource. Why? Well, because if you think about it, the whole map is an interconnection of different rooms, right? So let's start by creating this room resource. And to do so, let's expand the custom resources folder in the file system, right click on it, create new script, and the name will be room.gd. And let's make sure that it inherits not from the next. And to start creating the map generator, let's go back to 2D view and open up the map scene by pressing Ctrl-Shift-O and searching for map.tscn. And here what we need to do is to select the root node, the map node, and click on the plus sign to add a new child node or press Ctrl-A. And this time we'll be using a simple node, so search for node, add a new child node, double click and rename this to map generator. And then we need to attach a script to this, so click on the attach script button, make sure that the name stays Pascal case, so everything is consistent with the conventions, and make sure that we use the object empty template here, so we don't have auto-generated code. Click on create and buckle up because this is going to be a long one. So let's see what we need to do here. First of all, we'll provide a custom class name called map generator. Then we'll have a bunch of constants here. Let me explain them one by one, but I also want to say that you can experiment with these values if you want to use different ones for your game. This is where we can really configure how.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So far, I'm driving with this whole setup. No 2D map generator. Attach a script. I'll just put this into scripts, components, map generator. Yep, great. Map generator. And he's got all these consts, which makes sense. I just don't necessarily want to copy it verbatim, but I don't have a lot of time, so just 30 y placement randomness for map width paths Monster room weight, shop room weight, campfire room weight. Yeah, well, why this? Yes. Floors, width, path. S weight, and then rest.
How our map generation works in the game. So what are those x distance and y distance constants? Well, let's imagine that we have our grid here, right? These are all rooms we can use. We have the floors here vertically and we have the columns here horizontally, right? So we have all these rooms and visually we want to sort of have control over the space between them. So x distance will be the amount of pixels that we use as a gap between the two different rooms horizontally. And the y distance in a similar fashion is the distance or the gap between the different floors, right? So we say that this distance should be 30 pixels and this vertical distance should be shops and 4 for campfires. Again, you can play around with these values to see what you like for your game. Next up, we'll also
I should change these values at least a little bit. Floors, 10, 4, 3, whatever.
also need some member variables. First of all, we'll have a random room type weights dictionary, which has the monster, campfire, and shop room type keys, and the values will be those accumulated weights. By now, you might recognize this because it works really similar to what we did with the card rewards and earlier in season 1 with the enemy actions. So it serves a really similar purpose here too. We'll also have a variable for the total weight, and last but not least, we'll have a map data variable, which is sort of the most important variable in this.
Room type total weight 0 map data array. Right, that's the one that that's what that's going to be.
Whole class, and it will be an array of arrays. So what does that mean? Let us go on a little tangent here. So we said that we store this whole map as a grid, right? So what does that actually mean? This grid-like structure we have here with the row arrays, right?
Yeah.
In different numbering here on purpose. And
that's fine. I know how a 2D array works.
Mentioned earlier. If you remember that code, again, we return an array of, and it will be empty by default. And here, for each floor, we need to build a whole new array, right? Because if you remember, each floor is an array itself, namely an array of rooms next to each other, 7 rooms, right? So we'll call this array adjacent rooms. And here, we also need to start a loop, which will repeat.
Yeah, I mean, creating a custom resource isn't a horrible idea for it. And honestly, I already have that in scenario, right? So generate that. Let's see. He's got array map data equals grid grid of scenario. To return array for I in floors rooms array scenario for J in width, not JI, stupid. Four. There we go. And it's gonna do create scenario, right? Which I have that over in campaign screen. There should be a generate battle options. There we go. So map generator. So scenario. I don't know why I made that a void. That's a scenario. There we go. All of you need to be indented. There we go. As for now. Okay. So we're actually just going to clear away all of this. And then we're going to return scenario. Boom. Okay. Adjacent rooms dot append generate scenario. That's not how you spell adjacent. There's no S. Okay.
For the views view 2, which we can place on randomness of that new room we just created. So how do we calculate the position of the current?
Yeah. I guess that's fair. So var scenario, always statically type. It helps everything. Generate scenario. Set float equals 2 f f times randomness. There we go. Let's see. Is yours actually a float? Probably.
Floors.
Man, he spends forever explaining things. I just...
For campfires. Again, you can play around with these values to see what you like for your game. To iterate through the number of floors you want to do. So whatever is inside this loop, this whole thing.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and battle option display. You're fine, but you're going to change to a node 2. Yeah, that's fine. But the reason you're going to be a node 2D, because if I come over here, I'm going to change your type. Node 2D. All right. Export scenarios. Perfect. So, give you a class name. Option. Map generator. Option. Battle option dot new. And we're just going to throw a scenario into you. Okay. There we go. Offset, your randomness offset. Option dot position goes vector 2 j times x dist I times negative y dist plus offset. Yeah. I guess for the sake of following what this guy has set up, we'll do this. Row of battle option. Option dot row. Okay. I option column. Okay. Yep. And then adjacent rooms dot append option. To return dot append adjacent rooms, and then return to
which selected property.
Yeah.
This JP, this if I scroll all the way up, so far so good. That's step 1 done in the algorithm. Generate map method, say return, test this. What we can do is we can take this map data now and print it out to the debug window. But in order for the results to be meaningful, what we do first is we loop through all the different floors so we can number them. And how do we do this? Well, we'll just declare an I variable, which will be.
I just want you to be static. Do you still have access to the const? I can make it static
0,
later
and then
on.
we can loop through all the floors in the map data array, which, if you remember, will be arrays themselves. And within this for loop, what we can do is we can print out something like floor $%s, and this will be which floor we're in, then a semicolon floor to test if this generate initial.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Just print map data. So I come back over to battle option display, campaign map. So this is unique name, map generator dot generate map. Hey, look, it broke. Yeah, we're just gonna return for now. That's a whole lot of nothing, and everything broke. Oh yeah. Node 2D. There we go. Yep, there's a whole bunch there. So let's see. Let's see what else this guy's got going on.
Grid method testing and go to the debug window here. We should see and with the type of it and what we replace this initial graphs from. But before we do that, we can get rid of this temporary value of the method in a variable called starting. Think about it. We want the starting points to.
Yeah, no, that's
So let's generate the grid. And I mean, now that I think about it, I don't necessarily need to create a scenario for every single one, but oh well.
Be at floors from floor but y paths, but better to. So there's a two variables, one for this loop as a save break. That's 0 to 6 variable by 1. And then finally, when the while loop finishes its execution, it means that we found a configuration of 6 numbers which have at least 2 unique points, so we can.
Okay, let's see, what time is it? 6:47? Okay, I think I gotta get going, unfortunately. Yeah. It's been fun. I gotta go to work, so see you guys.